I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen, and today a Noreen's Kitchen Basic. This is going to be a delicious and simple homemade pantry marinara. You can make this vegetarian or vegan if you like. Today we're just going to go with it and we're going to make a delicious marinara sauce that I'm going to be using later in the week for another meal. So let's go see how we make this simple and delicious pantry shelf marinara. Alright, we're going to go over all of the ingredients for our pantry marinara sauce, and this is just a really easy way to make a delicious homemade marinara with things that you keep on your pantry shelf, or if you're going to go out and buy this stuff like I did today because I didn't have quite enough, then this is just a really quick and easy way to make a marinara sauce from scratch if you don't want to use store-bought spaghetti sauce. So what we're going to start off with is a very large, and this is a very large onion. You can use sweet onion or yellow onion. I have just diced it up. And I have 6 cloves of fresh garlic. You can use less, you can use more. It's entirely up to you. And now for the tomato goodness. I have 3 different types of tomatoes. I have 2 28-ounce cans of tomato puree, 2 28-ounce cans of seasoned crushed tomatoes, and 2 28-ounce cans of petite diced tomatoes. Now I'll show you, you can definitely see a difference. You wouldn't think there would be a difference. This is the tomato puree. It's super thin, it's super smooth, pardon me, and it's been run through a sieve, and you can see how velvety it looks, as opposed to this, which is the crushed tomato, and this is seasoned with garlic and basil and olive oil. But you can see how it looks a little rough because they just crushed them. They didn't put it through a sieve. And of course this is the diced tomatoes because we're going to use that and give it a little chunk, but it's going to cook down. And then we have our thickener, which is an 18-ounce can of tomato paste. We're going to be using some olive oil, and I don't know how much. I'm going to use that to sweat down the onions and also for flavor. And then we're going to use 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, and then I have in here all of my flavorizers. I have 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, dried Italian seasoning, a tablespoon of dried basil, a tablespoon of salt, and a teaspoon of red pepper flake, and you can leave that out. That's completely optional. You can add in whatever you like. If you like more dried oregano, throw that in. If you like dried parsley, throw that in. It's entirely up to you. You can also use, I've used my homemade Italian seasoning blend. If you're interested to see how I did that, I'll leave a link in the information box below so you can see how I made that. Now all we're going to do is go over to the stove and we're going to get some olive oil heated up in our stock pot. We're going to sweat down these onions and garlic. When I come back, all of that will be done, and I'll show you all of these tomato products going in the pot. I know that somebody's going to say the onions burned, but they didn't. The onions are browned, and that's how you want them for this sauce. It gives a richness and a depth of flavor like nothing else. Now, I've sweat the I've sweat the onions down along with the garlic, and this took about 20 minutes. We did it over a low heat, just enough to give it a sizzle, and then in the last 5 minutes, it's just gotten this beautiful brown color, and that's what we want. So, what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to proceed, and we're going to start adding all of our tomato product in here. Here goes our diced tomatoes, our crushed tomatoes, and our tomato puree. Everything is now in the pot, all the tomato goodness. I'm going to add my sugar, my balsamic, and all of our spices, as well as the tomato paste. Just give this a gentle stir until that tomato paste starts to break down a little. You can break it up with your spoon, but I wouldn't worry about it too terribly much because as this simmers, it's going to break down further. I'm going to put this on a medium-high heat just to bring it up to a good simmer, and then I'm going to turn it back down to medium. I'm going to let this simmer for at least an hour. I'm going to simmer this without the lid on because I would like it to reduce just a little bit and get a little bit thicker. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this marinara. This is something you're going to want to do on a Saturday or on a day off. You're not going to want to do this this is definitely not a come home from work and make sauce. This is I'm going to make it when I have the time, when I can pay attention to it, and make sure that everything is just right. So I'm gonna cook this for about an hour. After it comes up to a good simmer, and then I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It should have deepened in color just a little bit, and you'll definitely be able to taste the difference at that point. You can taste it now, and you can see what it tastes like. It's gonna be a little acrid, a little acidic, and if you wait an hour and let it cook down a bit, it's gonna get mellow, and all of those flavors are gonna marry. The flavors of the herbs gonna come out, and it's gonna be great. So we'll be back when it's time to see what this looks like. All right, this has simmered for about an hour, but I've had it turned off for about 10 minutes just because it's super thick, and as it was really getting up to a simmer, it wasn't really simmering. After a while, it was splooshing and it was splattering everywhere. After I got it up to a simmer, I put a splatter shield on the pot, and I left it at medium high, and I allowed it to just sit there and cook for about an hour. But this sauce is beautiful. It smells incredible. I can smell all of those wonderful herbs and spices, the garlic, the olive oil, the tomato, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get a bowl of pasta ready so we can meet you back over at the counter, and we'll finish this up for you. Well, there you have it. I have put a little of our marinara sauce on some cooked pasta. So that was, honestly, it's some leftover pasta I had in the fridge. We're not going to be eating this as pasta tonight. I'm going to be making something else with it, but I wanted to set up a nice plate for you to close out the video. So this is just some pasta. We've got some penne here with our homemade pantry shelf marinara, and of course, we're going to put some parm on there as well, and it's all good. So, this is super delicious. We've all tasted it already. What did you think of it, honey?
Very good.
I really, really like it. If you prefer not to buy jarred pasta sauce, and I understand some of you don't, I have no problem with it, but sometimes you want to make something on your own, and this affords you the opportunity to make a big, big pot of marinara sauce for very, very little money. I mean, those 28-ounce cans of tomatoes, literally, I paid $1 a piece for. And I got them at Walmart. And they were not the Walmart brand. They were a better brand. They were one of the Italian brands. And a can of tomato paste, some seasonings that you already have on your spice rack, and, a little balsamic vinegar and some onion and garlic, which I'm pretty sure most of you have on hand. If you don't keep fresh garlic or onion, just add in garlic powder and onion powder, or leave them out. It doesn't matter. It's going to be delicious no matter what you choose. So, because I know somebody's going to ask me, this is not a safety tested recipe. I do not recommend that you use this for canning. And if you do want to do a marinara sauce for canning, I suggest that you seek out a recipe in the Ball Blue Book or on the website for the National Center for Home Food Preservation. So I hope that answers your question with respect to that. I'm going to be freezing my marinara sauce for later use with what I don't use and what I'm going to be using it for, which I'm not going to tell you because you're going to see it in an upcoming video. I want to thank you for joining me today for Noreen's Kitchen Basic Pantry Shelf Marinara. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope you give this Pantry Shelf Marinara a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya! With our pumpkin pie syrup. Stir again. And then we'll go ahead and put